Hey guys, it's Eric Green. Listen, how do I make sure that all these potential clients sign my letter and pay me before we start doing work? I use Anchor. Anchor created a fully autonomous billing system and it closes the cycle with zero errors. It sends our agreement to the potential client. We'll follow up with them automatically to make sure that agreement is signed. It alerts us when it gets read, when it's signed, and when payment is made. And this way, you know where you are every step of the way. I was so impressed with Anchor, which, by the way, is free. We went to Anchor and have partnered with them. Now, if you go and you register with Anchor, which is free, by the way, if I didn't mention that, you will get access to all of our checklists and letters, okay? But you have to go through our link, all right? Again, by the way, Anchor's free. There is a $5 fee per transaction if you're wondering how they make money. But given that our minimum retainer is $750, it's less than 1%. It's nothing, okay? So again, it's free. They charge the $5, transaction fee on payments, and it will automate your onboarding clients, make follow-up, just puts it on autopilot. It just saves you all that stress and you will close more deals. All right. So sign up here. It's www.sayanchor.com/tax rep. Again, sayanchor.com, sayanchor.com/tax rep, TAXREP. When you go through there, you'll sign up for free and you will have access to all of our letters and checklists, which will save you the trouble of recreating them yourself. All right. Go check out Anchor and put that closing process on autopilot. Guys, I've told my horror story before with S Corp clients and how do you know what reasonable comp is? My horror story is when they went after that CPA who was a friend of mine for $125,000, arguing that he knew and that he knew better and that he should have made sure his clients took reasonable comp. I'm a huge fan of RC reports. RC reports, it's about $1,400 a year. We're charging the S Corps that come to us under audit $750 a piece. We'll probably make between $10,000 and $20,000 with RC reports. But if you have S Corp or C Corp clients, they have to each year get a report, and the report is as simple as possible. RC Reports has a huge database of businesses. It will give you a report that you can rely on. And so far, to date, when we produce that report, not a single auditor has challenged it. The critical thing right now is for your clients to get that report to support the number they're taking on the return, that you're taking on that return that you're signing. Best way to do it, RC Reports. Go check it out, okay? You can find them. It's trn.rcreports.com. Again, trn.rcreports.com. Go there, you'll save $100. It will change your practice, create an annuity stream for you, and bulletproof your clients' corporate returns. The Tax Rep podcast is now proudly partnered with Nice Job, the experts in reputation marketing. Reviews are so important for attracting new clients. Before Nice Job, I would ask people to leave reviews, but they would usually forget, and I didn't have a way to stay on top and remember to follow up with them. That's where Nice Job comes in. Their smart follow-up campaign recognizes who hasn't left a review yet and automatically sends carefully timed reminders that can increase your chances of getting a review by 300%. I tried Nice Job for Tax Rep, and it's been a game changer. We added 33 five-star reviews in our first month, and our Google business profile is like a magnet for new customers. You can try Nice Job for free for 14 days and get 50% off your first 3 months by visiting nicejob.grsm.io/taxrep. nicejob.grsm.io/taxrep. I'm going to put a link in the description of the podcast. Try it. It will be a game changer for your business as well. How do I manage my tax rep practice? How do I get transcripts? How do I track what is going on with the IRS with every single one of my client cases? How do we complete the offer forms, the powers of attorney, everything? We use Tax Help software. Tax Help software is the cornerstone of our practice. We use it for its intelligent ordering. Every single night, it will update the transcripts on our clients, so we will see things happen long before those letters even go to the mail. We can then, react. We can let the client know. We can get all the transcripts we need to determine what our client's best options are, when is the debt going to expire, and we can fill in all of the IRS forms and get them filed accurately, the analysis done correctly. If you're interested in giving it a test, go to taxhelpsoftware.com, use promo code TaxRepTrial, all one word, all caps. You will get a free 2-week trial. Again, that's taxhelpsoftware.com, TaxRepTrial, all caps, for a free 2-week trial. If you love it and want to buy it, use TaxRep10, capital, all caps, TaxRep10, TaxRep10, all caps, one word. You'll save 10% on your purchase. It will be the engine that runs your tax rep practice, just like it's what we use for ours. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on this week's Tax Rep Network podcast. I'm Eric Green. We have some very special guests this week. Joining me is Manny Vetti and Charles Corsello. If you don't know them, you should. These guys are the brains behind taxcure.com, which is the lead directory site for IRS reps, people who want to do tax resolution. They're also the gurus in terms of digital marketing and generating leads. They've done this for some of the national companies. They do this now for folks like you and I, but their directory is by far the best developed. I signed up a week ago, I think. I've already got a lead out of it. It's unbelievable. So guys, thanks for taking the time to sit here and do this. It's great to have you on.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks for having us.
No, I remember when Roger Nemeth from Tax Help Software, and Roger's been on a couple times, and he said to me, you got to meet Charlie and Manny. I'm like, are they IRS people? I'm like, who are Charlie and Manny? And he started describing, I'm like, are those the guys who did all the leads? I don't want to mention them for the big national. He said, yes, because he's mentioned you before. He said, they have a directory site. He said, you were talking about starting a directory. He said, I'm going to save you the trouble. He said, you need to partner. That makes sense. And, so far it's been terrific. We've rolled it out to our members. We're now going to let the podcast audience know. But why don't you, if you don't mind, give the audience some background who don't know you, kind of how you got into this.
Sure. So around 2007, I was actually at Google, and I decided to leave and start a marketing agency. Manny and I had, wanted to build a business together, and we started to do marketing in financial services, different financial services, and we did really well at tax resolution. And so we decided to focus on that, and we helped basically a couple large national firms get to millions in sales through a variety of different marketing methods, from SEO, Google ads, paid ads, different paid ads, depending on the network. So we ended up just focusing our efforts on trying to bring in clients at a reasonable price.
Now, how did you end up with, again, we don't have to name them, but the national company? So you go and you start your own, you start doing this. Did they find you? Did you reach out to them and approach them, say, hey, we can create traffic for you?
Yeah, that was a great question. So we were at that time, before I had worked for Google, I worked for this lead network. And this lead network, I was doing business development for, and I saw just some of the categories and types of leads they were selling. But anyway, we started to sell leads into that network. And one of the buyers found out who we were and went directly to us and said, your leads are the best. We would like a direct relationship. I don't know how they found us, how they figured it out, maybe talking to some of the leads, maybe the branding that we had on it. So they reached out to us, and we decided to work with them, directly. And from there, it was history. We were one of the top performers. We outperformed all the other marketing partners, and we helped drive their company to, millions in sales. They had a change of ownership at a certain point. They got acquired by private equity, but we basically they found out and reached out to us at that time, and that's how it all started.
Yeah, and then also to add on to that, we went on to, we're really good at the marketing. We're like, oh, why don't we, we ended up starting up our own tax resolution company, and we grew it to several million in sales, and we figured, hey, we're great at marketing. We could, do the SEO, do the, generate the leads. And we did grow it to several million in sales, and we were doing national. We became like a national tax resolution company. But we did learn a lot of things along the way that kind of arrived us at TaxCure, because we realized, we did, we hired sales reps. We had the whole, system in place. And I feel like we thought we could do better because we could generate the leads. We're really good at it. But we ended up kind of over-promising, under-delivering still, because we were hiring the sales reps and they wanted to get the deal. But the thing is, we realized a lot of people, they want to go direct to the pro. And we figured, what's best for the taxpayer? Like that they go directly to the pro, know somebody local, know somebody they trust, rather than trying to upsell them. Hey, this person's located in California. We're located in New York. Hey, but we help with all problems. We got attorneys that have experience with California, but were they really the best attorney? I mean, yeah, we took on a lot of clients where there definitely were way better professionals. So we went back to our roots and we were conceptualized the TaxCure idea. And we're just like, this is what people want. And we just figured, well, let's just build it. We don't really know how we're going to make money on it, but this is what's needed in the market. And it's good for the tax pros, and it's good for the taxpayer, because they're getting somebody local, and the tax pros getting people that are, need their skills, their unique skills based upon, the agencies they help with and their location. So,
yeah, I mean, just to interject here, I think that we noticed from the data that certain people wanted local. Now, you could speculate as to why they wanted local. Sometimes it could be because of some of the bad apples in the industry, as we know, right? The J.K. Harris, the Tax Master, some of these firms that got into big trouble, took on more than they could chew. And we noticed that there was high pressure sales reps at most of these different firms. We speculate that this was fears out there as to why they wanted to work local. They were maybe afraid of getting ripped off, or maybe they had a state issue. They felt more comfortable, which we solely believe in.
And it was also very, very hard to actually find somebody local. Like if you type in tax attorney, you're not really getting somebody with that experience. You type in CPA near me. Do they do resolution? Probably not.
Right. Just because you're a CPA or attorney doesn't mean you understand tax resolution or have experience. So we noticed, so what a lot of the major firms did is they tried to hire or outsource work to local professionals, CPAs in certain cities. So when someone said to them, hey, we would like someone locally, they had someone available. The problem with that model was that the professionals weren't, or the contractor wasn't getting compensated very well, right? So it wasn't a sustainable model in my mind, but it was still a need out there. And we're serving that need now, because when someone goes to TaxCure and they reach out to a professional, they know who they're connecting with. They know the background of that professional. They know their experience, where they went to school, their credentials. It's just providing more transparency in an industry that has had some deceptive marketing, right? Over the years. So, we wanted to provide transparency and allow taxpayers to make better decisions and let them select who they want to work with based on that.
I have to tell you, so I agree. I agree 1,000%, because what I'll get from our members is, Eric, what do you do about the national companies? And honestly, I don't care. I could care less. They're not competition. And here's why. My big approach to marketing has been blogging. And partly because it forces me to think about the subject. For me, it's simple. As an attorney, to knock out 500 words is nothing. And they're like mini websites. But what I find is people will come in and they'll have printed out my blog entries. They'll show up with my blog entries. So one is that's how I know, and there's a distinct picture on my blog versus anything else. So it's one, I know that's where the work is coming from. But two, at the end of the day, they like the idea that they can come see me, drink my coffee, breathe my air, versus the disembodied voice out in Oakland or Colorado or wherever they are. And so I have counseled the members, though, yes, you need to market and, the pay-per-click and everything, you're competing with those people. But the truth is your audience, yeah, I get clients from all over, but the truth is my audience is basically near New Haven, Connecticut. So I'm focusing on my local market and they can't compete with me. And folks, at the end of the day, would prefer to know that even if they don't physically come in, they want to know that you're a human being, you're down on State Street or wherever, and I can go see you before I start giving a credit card to some third party. And as you said, some of the ones that imploded, whether they were the scam like Taxmasters or J.K. Harris, I think J.K. Harris's problem is they grew so quickly they couldn't manage their inventory. I mean, I think John Harris knew his stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I think they that's one of those, like almost like an MBA program case study. You can go bankrupt by growing too quickly. Which
Well,
sounds
I think similar to Ronnie Deutsch, right? She had
Ronnie Deutsch's problem is she franchised. And with the franchise, what she discovered is the franchisees, they only want the money. They could care less about quality or whether. So she has this franchise model. I don't know if you saw her last W-2 from her corporation, her last year was $10 million. Wow. So the franchise fees are all flowing up. The franchisees don't give a shit about whether it's a good offer, bad offer. They just want people's money. Mm-hmm. And so she literally had these 100 scammers running around paying her franchise fees, and she couldn't control I assume, my understanding, because I don't know her, my understanding is she lost control of the professional at the end because it was a franchise model. So they drove the thing into the ground, and I don't know if she was actually criminally prosecuted, but they threatened her with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I wanted to make a point that, you talked about meeting face to face, people want to drink your coffee or see you, and that's also getting into some of the digital marketing methods that, social media can be effective in that regard, in the sense, if you're doing videos, people know who you are, they get to know you. But there are others that, again, a lot of people prefer to work local, like you've mentioned. So I think we're addressing that point and offering that transparency that's been really lacking in the market for a long period of time.
Yeah, so let's talk about digital marketing because in all honesty, it is not something I've done. My approach to marketing, which is what led me to like you guys have spoken to our group. I couldn't help for the accountants that wanted to do that. It's not in my wheelhouse, because I was a blogging, go public speak. Way back then, we would write articles, which I do not recommend, by the way. It's a lot of work for how many people read the article? I don't know. So if you can kind of walk us through what is digital marketing, I suppose really for anybody, but in this space sort of look like, and you hear about Google ads, Facebook ads, what is involved with that? Kind of what should people be considering in terms of, if I'm listening to this, I'm like, Charlie, Manny, this sounds awesome.
Sure. So I think from your overall marketing strategy, you want to have a multi-pronged approach, right? But from the digital marketing side, you want to look at things such as Google Business Profile, for example, is one thing. It is free. Google has localized a lot more results, right? And you want to make sure that your profile is up to date, filled out completely. I did actually a webinar on this last year, but it can be an effective method to bring in clients, and that's different from Google.com. So Google Business Profile is going to show you that local pack at the top when you're doing a search, for example, tax attorney, you'll see it, the 3 companies show up. There's no cost for that, obviously, but you want to have it filled out. You want to have it complete so
And
that
getting reviews is very important in the digital age. I mean, reviews on multiple platforms is also extremely important. That also impacts your Google business profile ranking. And we also have reviews on TaxCare as well that show the stars and, the results. But getting those reviews of that reinforcement, I can't even tell you, like when I see the leads come in on TaxCare, I'll see somebody up on top in a certain hot area. And then there's somebody under them or 2-3 spots down. And it's like the people with the reviews always get the deals, get the leads. Like it drives stuff. Like it has a big impact, especially ranking on Google business profile. And it does make a big impact overall. So that's another thing to invest in with local.
Yeah. So, I mean, but again, getting back to the multi-pronged approach, I was going to say, you want to, I would say definitely Google business profile. Google.com is more for your website, right? You want to have a website where you're like you talked about, putting out a blog post, putting out unique, good content, okay, related to your industry is going to help you get traffic and clients over time. It takes a lot longer, obviously, to, build that content and build that site, but is definitely part of that multi-pronged approach. I would tell you TaxCare is another spoke on the wheel that you would want to focus on, right? Because we do get some traffic and it can be another way for you to get a few clients. And then obviously you could do advertising. I mean, we have a lot of experience, obviously, with Google Ads, Microsoft advertising or Bing, and Facebook. We've done a lot. Facebook, over the years, it could be a good platform for remarketing, meaning someone who has visited your website before and you're retargeting them. You're showing them ads after they visited your website. But I would tell you that it's difficult if they haven't visited to target them. We've had challenges over the years with that. Now, obviously, if you're CPA and you're doing different services and tax resolution isn't your only thing, then Facebook could be effective. But the quality of the leads generally aren't going to be as good as what we see from Bing and Google Ads.
Have you guys ever, if not, I got to put you in touch with them. Nice Job, nicejob.com. They actually, what it does, I got put on to them, and I actually now just worked out a deal with them. Nicejob.com, what they do is they will, so for instance, I took a bunch of my clients, loaded them up, and they get a message, would you review Eric Green, Green and Scars, all right, Eric Green tax rep, whichever company it is. And a whole bunch of people, these people like, yeah, you know what, I'll give you that review. They walk out of the office, they go get their iced coffee, they get it's out of sight, out of mind. We went from 70 5-star reviews to 180 in 3 hours.
Wow.
But then what happened is we went to 150, I think, in 3 hours. And then if they don't do anything, a week later, they get a reminder. It's like a drip campaign. So every week so Kevin, who you've met, who's my head of marketing for tax rep, he literally texts me. He's like, how did we just get 55-star reviews in 3 days? And I said, let me tell you about Nice Job. I got to introduce you guys because the people on TaxCare should hook up with them. But it's pretty cheap. It's an amazing service.
So a lot of people need to work that into their routine. Getting reviews and digital marketing go hand in hand. And it's like, you can't just say, hey, I'm going to do it 1 month and then you don't do it. It needs to be a consistent process. And also, like Google, they actually don't like to see if you get like 50 reviews in 1 month and then you don't get any after that, it actually hurts you. So you need to show them consistent over time.
You want to show consistency, and you're going to build that into your business process, right? So, and also it's a way to catch anything that maybe you're doing wrong, or something you can improve in your operation. So
getting negative reviews is not even a terrible thing. How you respond and showing that you're a real person, it's so important. And if, people love going to the negative reviews and reading them. And if they see you have a really good response and you made it right, you might have just closed that deal from that negative review as well.
Exactly. In fact, when I had somebody give us, when we finally set up our Google listing, our business listing, which I hadn't done, why would I? Anyway, so I do that, and we get I get like 3 or 4 or 5-star reviews. I get a 1-star with no comment, and it's somebody we don't know. So we run through our database, whatever else. I'm now talking to Nice Job, and I said, what do you do? He said, you have to respond. And so we literally posted so anyway, we're like at 4.1, right, is our rating because of this thing. I actually responded, we're sorry you've had an issue. We have no record of you dealing with tax rep or being a member or doing anything with us. Please contact us so we can fix whatever it is. I think a week or two later, we went to 5 stars. It's like Google reviewed it and was like, yeah, that's nonsense. Yep. And it has never hurt us. And you're right. If I go and I look at the negatives, first of all, what are they complaining about? Sometimes people complain about stupid things.
Oh, yeah.
Product is great, but I didn't like the packaging.
Yeah.
The packaging. No, I mean, think about Amazon when you go look at stuff. But the point is, you do go look at the reviews. So do I. So do your potential clients. So it is critical that, with Nice Job, I can set it up so it will automatically post to social media, my website, if I get a 5-star.
Nice.
You can't prevent people from giving you lower ones, but you can have it automatically post. But you're right, you have to respond to the negative. But to get back, you're right. I mean, for those people listening, the very simple things to do first, in terms of marketing, people are always like emailing me, but what do I need for a budget? What do you think about the size of buses? Look, let's do the simple things. Your listing, your website. Does it load? Is it mobile optimized? It should be these days. Does it load quickly? Do people have to burn calories figuring out what you do? If they do, bad. If not, good, right? Do you have a way of capturing the leads? Do you have something that you're giving them some content so that they'll opt in? So now you know who they are. Do your own existing clients, if you do tax returns, do they know you do this? Do the simple things first. Now, once we've done that, next thing is go to taxcure.com and grab a free listing. I do want to talk about your premium listing, which is unbelievable because it took me about a half hour. I mean, it's very detailed, right? The directory, the listing. Yes. I think I got a lead the next day. What is for the audience? So taxcure.com, they can go check it out, by state, you can list your specialties, whatever. Federal and state, by the way, tax issues. What is the difference between the basic and the premium listing?
So the premium listing gets you promoted a little bit more. So it's very much similar to what you see with like Google Ads, where you can have an ad above the natural search results or the organic search results. So it promotes the premium member above the natural search results, and it'll say ad, right? So it's the closest to me search, obviously, but it will say ad and show them. So it actually gets you more impressions, and with more impressions or more times your profile is shown, you get more clicks and obviously more inquiries. So besides that point, you also get access to some marketing content. For example, we've done a webinar on Google Business Profile. I show you I took two Michigan tax attorneys to rank nationwide by improving their profile over time. So they rank actually in their locale very well now for just tax attorney, actually. But clients get access to that recorded content. So anytime we do a webinar, we have also videos there on best practices, right? So for example, how to approach a digital marketing lead, right? You want to call, if you want to text, you want to email. Now, obviously you need to make sure that your form allows, they've given you permission to text them, but we go over best practices, not only from Google Business Profile and other topics, how to attract more clients and generic topics, but more, even on specifics. So I don't know, Manny, if you want to talk a little bit more about too the big difference between the basic and the premium.
Yeah. So also there's, a lot of people too are hesitant to, on the free member, they could click to message you and they don't see your contact information on the free, but you get a message that you got to log in and get the information. So you also have a call button so somebody could call you, because a lot of people are hesitant these days to put their information into an online lead form because, they get on a spam list, this and that. We don't do any of that with any of the emails that come through. But the thing is, we do see that people favor calling as well. And we get a byline that you end up standing out. And I did an analysis recently, actually, on pro members versus free members. And we've increased the average pro member gets 1,600% more inquiries than the free member, just based upon the promotion and whatever. And mainly it's local people that are reaching out, but you also do expand, and you can choose 10 tax agencies that you have experience with versus 5 tax agencies. So that gives you the availability to show up in many more search results. So, I mean, TaxCure Pro is for, it's for the people looking to add another $10,000 to $30,000 in revenue a year. And we also we do a lot of SEO on our own site to target, really even random topics, anything around tax problems or tax solutions. And we have pros that make suggestions based upon, hey, in this state, this problem comes up a lot. I'm like, okay, let me see how we could target that. And I'll make a unique piece of content, figure out what people are searching to get there. And then so it will end up generating more prospects for those people. And we focus on the pro members, what their specialties are, and how we could grow more prospects for them. And that's kind of our go-to initially, is like, where are we going to focus our marketing efforts most? And we look to the pro members first, but everybody seems to do well. Free members still get leads. Pro members, get the extra promotion, and we do our best to make them stand out and have an awesome return on spend and getting the clients that fit their unique skill set.
Yeah, and it's like a turnkey solution. I mean, Google Ads, it's complex, a lot of management. That's why, we do offer that as a service, and we've done that for years, but we also have 12 years of data. So of what works, because we've been doing it so a long time. So, this TaxCure, we didn't want to make very complex. We want to make it so that somebody can get leads, and then if somebody wants to pay, they can get even more inquiries and get promoted even more.
And for the audience listening, next Tuesday, the 29th, we're going to be you guys are joining me on a webinar on digital marketing. And, I know we're kind of covering the surface now, but we'll get into that next week. Also, for the tax rep members who are listening to this, there is a discount for that premium. The premium is only $199 a month. 1 lead a year, you'll triple your money. But there is a discount for tax rep members. You can go check that out in the tax rep members area. If you're not a tax rep member yet, like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, jump in there and join us. No, with the wave of work that we see coming from the IRS, and they're ramping up slowly. I wish they'd ramp up a little faster. But I should have Nikki Johnson, who's the director of campus collections, joining me in September on a webinar to update on a podcast to update us. But in June, she was saying September, they're going to start sending out the enforcement notices, but in waves, because the fear is, I think she told me they can go levy 4 million people today. They've already had their final notice, COVID, the shutdown, everything. They can just turn on the system and levy them today. That they don't want to do that, because what happens? The phones will get jammed, advocate will get overrun. So they're going to start sending them out in waves. So I think, though we're busy, we're going to get a lot busier. So for those folks listening, go grab your TaxCure listing now, at least grab your free one. But seriously, what we're already seeing, the premium more than pays for itself. I would upgrade to the premium. Tax rep members, go use the discount code. Get your Google listing done. Now, for those folks, Charlie, Manny, look, this is great. I have a practice. I want to accelerate this thing. Do you guys consult? Like, for instance, if I want to hire you to help my practice sort of dominate my area, is that something you guys do?
Yeah, so we'll do, some people just use us for coaching, where they kind of want to do some of the work and we'll provide direction as to, what they should be working on. But we also do, obviously, Google Ads management. So that can actually help accelerate and bring in more clients for you. And it takes a little time to get set up, but when done appropriately, you'll have a nice flow every month of leads coming from your Google Ads campaign. We also do SEO. That takes a little bit more time. We sometimes have to help structure and restructure the site. But we will set you up on a path and provide you topics and content so you can constantly grow your site. And it takes time, but it really becomes a reliable source of traffic and prospects.
So listen, guys, thanks for taking the time. For everyone listening, a couple things in the description. I'll put, but taxcure.com, TAXCURE.com. I'll put a link for next Tuesday's webinar, so you can join us. And also, you can reach out to Charlie and Manny if you want to get them in to consult on everything from your directory listing to SEO on your website, structuring your own Google ad campaign, all of that stuff. I mean, we got probably the two best guys in this space available to you. So by all means, if this is something you really want to, ramp your game up, you got the right guys. So listen, thank you. And what we'll be doing, we're going to be doing more with TaxCure. Hopefully we're going to be doing a webinar in another few weeks. So thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. And next Tuesday, I think is going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds good. Thank you. I look forward to joining you.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.